at a cost.
Yeah.
It's going to come at a cost.
So
we're grateful no life was
yes,
lost.
yes. Yeah. So I have some interesting questions in my mind, regarding this. So the vehicles that are not insured as comprehensive and they are third party, what happens to them?
Wow.
So there's that question, right?
That, yeah.
But then there's the issue of, a lot of organizations right on their premises.
Yes.
You leave your property unattended at your own risk.
Yeah.
Do you see? So these are some questions that have kept going through my mind.
And who do you blame for a natural disaster?
No, I mean it's an act of God, as it were. Force majeure. So this is not any human being's fault.
It's just that when we have severe weather patterns like this, it only exposes our infrastructure gaps.
Yeah.
And of course, our lack of attention to detail and some of these things. But management has issued a statement. We'll wait to see how they intend to deal with the matter. But we wish them well. We can only commiserate with the management of ANC development and the owners of the various vehicles.
All right. Now let's go to the Ghanaian Times. We have here the National Education Statistics Report. Quality education fluctuates though access to school increases in the past 2 decades. We have Minister orders probe into 1.5 billion Ghana ECG value containers disappearance. These containers are huge things, and how 1,300 disappear and are unaccounted for is very bizarre. It's beyond bizarre.
So the thing, did they disappear in transit? Are there documents to prove that they were cleared from the port but did not get to the final destination? Or did they disappear from the port? There's no way able to show that indeed these specific containers have been cleared. And every container has its own unique identification. There's a number on it based on which shipping line it belongs to. And so, for example, if it's a Maersk line container, you find the MSKU and then a unique number will come. Now, all these containers are also locked with seals. These seals also have unique identifications on them. So from the port of embarkation to the port of disembarkation, you are able to track and ensure everything is intact. So is there documentation to prove that there was clearance from the port and they disappeared in transit, or they vanished from the port? You see, we need to understand these details, and I don't think the audit report gave us those details. It just underscores the points that out of the many, these 1,300 plus are unaccounted for. But I'm sure that if indeed they were cleared from the port, there should be a way bill which can be tracked to identify whoever along the chain caused the diversion or otherwise. So it's good that the minister is calling for a full-scale, and he says it's not just an investigation, but a criminal investigation, because people need to be held accountable.
Yes, absolutely. I agree, 100%.
This is 1.5.
People need to be held accountable.
And you see, we actually need to do a proper valuation, proper costing of the equipment or material in the containers, so that we are sure that even this 1.5, we are not being shortchanged. You get it? So, I mean, kudos to the minister for initiating a probe. We hope that it is expedited. Because, Charlie, the country, we don't have money
at all. We
cannot be allowing.
And even if you see, the truth about it is that even if we had money, that's not how you waste your money.
Exactly.
Right.
And I'm excited that the minister is not only looking to prosecute, but looking to retrieve as well. So if whoever it is found culpable, and whatever equipment or material is in the container has been used for whatever, we should be able to trace assets of the individual, value same, and then we sell off to offset.
Absolutely.
Because we need to retrieve. At this point, we cannot leave anything as it is. We need to retrieve.
Let me wrap up with the rest of the headlines. There's 3 killed, 3 injured in Binduri gun attack. Very unfortunate when the youth group calls for curfew.
Quite disturbing.
And suit against removal of IGP and other security agency heads dismissed. On the back page, we have Dr. Apia is saying lack of psychiatrists affecting mental health care in Bono East region. And 4 institutions signed MOU for competency-based training in recycling technology. Those are the headlines from the Ghanaian Times.
All right, the Herald newspaper this morning is at it again. They've been going on this story for about a month now. It says $1.4 million bulletproof Toyota Land Cruiser supplier indicts military. Okay. So, I mean, they are giving us different legs.
This is the Akani group.
Yes, different legs to this particular story over the period. And I like how when they pick on a story, they see to...
Oh, yeah.
You
really
dig deep
into
the story.
Herald
do a proper nose dive into the story. And so the Herald is at it. You can get the details in the paper. This is quite an interesting one.
Okay.
It says Kennedy Ejapon pitches camp against Baumia's 2028 return as they huggle over Adum fire victims. You know, Dr. Baumia was in Adum yesterday. Yeah, commiserated with the affected traders. Actually made a 200,000 Ghana cedi donation with some 1,000 bags of cement as well. And I like the way the Herald is putting it.
So are we going to see Kennedy also going down there?
Yeah, that's what it. I think if he's not been there already. He's scheduled to be there today. Yeah, so perhaps that's where this headline is coming from. And then, of course, you know about the petitions for the removal of the Chief Justice.
Yes.
We understand, based on the statement issued by the government communications minister, 3 petitions have been received so far from various individuals. And so the Herald has captured that story. Also here, says Mahama consults Council of State on 3 petitions for CJ's removal. Okay. That's, constitutionally mandated to do so. Boss donates to Chief Imam to support Ramadan observance. And you have NCA boss and Radio Gold mend fences. That's it for the Herald newspaper this morning.
Okay. Now, the CJ, does she not have tenure of office? Security of tenure of office?
I'm not sure what the law says. And if it's
I'm just curious because...
But perhaps that is why there's a constitutional process or procedure if
you want to seek removal.
I think it goes same for independent institutions such as the EC,
I'm sure the OSP too.
OSP and the likes.
Okay, all right. The Daily Guide. Edu Boahene and wife apply for bail. We have political persecution. Okay, you can arrest us, but we remain resolute. Afenyo-Markin is speaking. We have Baumia supports Adum fire victims with 200,000 Ghana cedis. Momo vendors killers caged. And I'm not on the run. Ex-GIIF CEO is speaking. Earlier in the week, it was reported that he was hiding in Senegal.
That's what the AG
but he's
actually
saying,
said.
Lie, it's not true.
Yeah, well...
I'm not on the run.
I'm not sure the AG put it that way in those words that he was on the run or he was hiding. But the AG actually gave a schedule of flights or travels he's been on. And per his last check,
he was in Senegal.
So, well, if you're not on the run, some accusations have been leveled against you. Show up.
And come and answer.
Come and answer. That's it. It's quite basic, isn't it?
Yeah, simple.
Just show
straightforward.
Up. All right. The Osahene is speaking on the front page of the Chronicle. You know who the Osahene is?
Yeah, Afenyo-Markin.
Osahene drops a bombshell. Mahama is sacking professionals and replacing them with party loyalists. That's Osahene Afenyo-Markin, the minority leader, alleging. And then on his opposing side is the majority leader, Mahama Yariga, who says Mahama is talk and do president.
We talk and do.
Yeah, and then you have the Baumia showing love to the Kizai or Kumasi fire victims also there on the front page.
All right, a new publisher says private jet owner Richard Quay's accounts blocked as FIC targets for 50 more companies. Okay, and Solomon Samoa replies, AG, I'm not hiding in Senegal.
Okay.
And police grabbed 3 for killing Momo vendors. That's the new publisher's headlines for today.
All right. from the new publisher, I'll take you to another publisher, which is the Ghanaian publisher. Also has Osahene Afenyo-Markin on the front page, who says, persecution won't break our spirits. That's the minority leader telling the president, John Dramani Mahama. And then you have the Attorney General under fire over public trial of Edubuahene. Sam George, that's the Minister for Communications, pictured here. And the story says Sam George sacks 100 Ghana Post workers. And then you have the Baumia donation to the Doom Fire victims story also there on the front page.
All right. The Custodian, that's my final paper. It says here, Baumia supports Doom Fire victims with 200,000 Ghana cedis and 1,000 bags of cement. Mustafa Yusuf highlights MPPs and match sports infrastructure. We have will seek justice for Edubuahene, and that's the legal team speaking there. It has pictured Samuel Atachia. And you can't bully us, Minority tells AG Ayene. And those are the headlines from the Custodian newspaper.
All right, the final one from me is the Daily Gist. Has also the Edubuahene story. It says 15 arrested over Edubuahene $7 million Israeli deal. Then you have the FIC freezes Richard Nikwe accounts. Plot to remove Chief Justice thickens. The Baumia story is also here. This one says gold board scheme is dubious, and it's attributed to the minority in Parliament. And then you have Supreme Court throws out Dampare. Well, this I believe is from the injunction application filed by Imani Africa and Professor Enin, the security analyst, seeking to restrain the president from replacing the security chiefs.
All right. Let me take you to citynewsroom.com and ChannelOneNews.com, and then we can look at a couple of details in the stories. So we have on ChannelOneNews.com, we have power restored at KIA after Tuesday's downpour disrupts operations. So there was some lights out yesterday. We have Ghana keeps returning to IMF due to poor decisions. This is Ken Thompson. Yesterday he was a guest on Face-to-Face with Umaru Sanda. We have ANC More apologizes over solar panel collapse. We have Akufo-Addo prioritize his own interests over the welfare of Ghanaians. Again, Ken Thompson speaking. Let me give you a couple more from Ken Thompson. He says free SHS was poorly implemented. Conditions were sordid. Okay. And we also have Ken Thompson speaking. Mahama's government has started on a good note. All right, I'll take you to citynewsroom.com.
Okay.
We have ANC More assures safety after parking lot solar panel collapse. Sam George overstepping bounds with job terminations. Impriaso MP speaking. Ken Thompson is here being quoted again. Mahama's budget is the most understandable in 9 years. Blackout at KIA after Tuesday's downpour causes delays. And we have Akufo-Addo prioritize himself over Ghanaians. Ken Thompson speaking there.
Wow.
I'll give you one more from Ken Thompson. He says, Ofuriatta ignored my calls to stop borrowing. All right. And finally, John Janapo, he says, we'll recover ECG's missing containers or funds.
All right.
So that's what we have.
So Ken Thompson was on the Face-to-Face
with
Umaru Sanda Madu right here on Channel One TV.
Yeah.
A lot of headlines can be couched from that interview. I mean,
very powerful.
The man
interview.
is a solid
very
guy,
detailed.
and he speaks truth to power.
To power, always.
So
I've always admired him for that.
Listen, you enjoy listening to him.
Yeah. It's a great interview. You guys should catch it on YouTube. All right, on our YouTube channel, you can go there and enjoy that as well.
All right, so let me just quickly start off with the ECG story. I think that's the big one, and the new one coming in. I'm reading from page 4 of the News Center. It says 1,347 ECG containers missing at Tema Port, and it's attributed to a report. The story reads, an independent audit has revealed that 1,347 containers belonging to the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, are unaccounted for at the Tema Port. ECG initially claimed to have 2,491 uncleared containers filled with cables and other essential equipment. However, an investigative audit found only 1,134 containers at the port, leaving a significant shortfall of 1,357 containers missing. So it goes to give you details and all. And then I think we can jump to the update where the minister has been speaking to it. I think it's... No, you have that paper. The minister has been speaking, calling for the investigation. And,
the probe?
Yes, the probe.
Into the missing containers?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's on page 13.
Yeah.
Of the,
let's get what the minister... He actually made some suggestions to further prevent losses in that.
Yeah, so he says here, the Minister of, is on page 13 of the Ghanaian Times, the Minister of Energy and Green Transition, Mr. John Abdullahi Janapo, has ordered a full-scale investigation into the disappearance of 1,328 containers belonging to the Electricity Company of Ghana at the port. According to the minister, a total of 2,491 containers were identified as being held at the port. However, and I quote, ECG itself could only account for some of them, leaving 1,328 unaccounted for. The estimated value of all the containers was about 1.5 billion Ghana cedis. Now, he revealed this in Accra yesterday when an investigative report on ECG's container hold-up at the Tema port and related procurement issues were presented to him. All right, he assured that a detailed investigation will be conducted to find out how the containers went missing and to recover their monetary value. Now, he says to prevent further losses, he said the ministry has decided to move the remaining containers to a secured warehouse under 24-hour security provided by the National Security. So I'll end it there. The story is quite lengthy. You can go and grab
And of course, you can go online, citynewsroom.com, ChannelOneNews.com.
We have it all there.
We have all the details there. We actually spoke to Umaru Sandamadu yesterday on Eyewitness News on 97.3. So you can catch all the details on there. If you could go to the YouTube, City 97.3 FM YouTube, you can also catch that interview as well. But I'll bring you the disturbing one from yesterday, also on page 4 of the News Center. Heavy rainstorm wreaks havoc in Accra. Story says a heavy rainstorm accompanied by powerful gusty winds and lightning swept through Accra late yesterday afternoon, leaving a trail of destruction in various parts of the capital. Now at Kokomlemle, the storm briefly disrupted the transmission of several radio stations belonging to the multimedia group. The strong winds interfered with broadcasting equipment, causing a temporary blackout on some platforms. Now, at the ANC Mall in East Legon, the storm caused the collapse of a carport, resulting in damage to several parked vehicles. Witnesses described how the winds ripped through the parking area, toppling structures, and leaving car owners scrambling to assess the damage. In other areas, there are reports somewhere around the Kotobabi police station, a tree fell on a car. We understand one person is injured and currently receiving treatment at the Ghana Police Hospital. Several other areas there were damages. Even at the airports, we understand that there were some network challenges due to the rainstorm, causing delays to some flights and all. So I think people should now, or I don't even think it's now, it should have been a thing. Pay attention to weather warnings. Pay attention to weather
it's important.
And plan your day accordingly.
And because of our terrain and how things are always sort of middle of the road, we don't have extremes of weather, we don't have extremes of temperature and so on and so forth. So people take a lot of things for granted. Even to the point where people even forget what last year's weather pattern was like.
And now we've seen a change in the patterns. It looks like the rainfall is actually, the rainy season is actually starting quite early this year.
Well, I mean, historically, March to July is the season for the rain.
It is, but you notice a change in the pattern because we didn't even experience the Harmattan as we should have from the December through to the January period. And now we're seeing the rains as heavy as they are coming
now. I mean, that's what the changes. They are there. They are real. You know. But for me, I'm looking more about the generality of it, you know, and the fact that it's a season, we're already in it. You know, I often find it fascinating when people say that, oh, but March is hot, and so there shouldn't be any rains. But it's the heat that generates the rains. You know, it's the heat that
causes condensation.
Of course, it's condensation. There's convection. It's getting, you know, the waters to rise up to the sky, and then it's condensing, and then, you know, rainfall. Anyway, thank you, Nana.
Thank you, David. Thank you, David.
All right.
But I perceive some smell in your studio.
Oh, you can, you know, sample something on your way out, you know.
You know this thing. It's smelling good.
It's smelling really
it's smelling good.
All right, sports is next.